Hey there, gardener. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you my 4 strategies to keeping my garden weed-free without having to actually weed by manually pulling out the weeds or using some sort of chemical weed killer. I don't know about you, but I absolutely loathe weeding. And I know myself, I'm not going to take the time to weed anything. I work a full-time regular job, plus work on my nursery business and this YouTube channel, so I don't have time to weed even if I wanted to. However, if I don't do anything, the weeds very quickly get out of control in my Florida garden. In just a few weeks time, I have a jungle of weeds on my hands that is a nightmare to clean up. I had to learn some different ways to help control the weeds in my garden, and that's what I want to share with you in this video. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Jara. This is Teddy. I've been gardening all of my life, and I'm a professional seed and plant nursery. I love to share my knowledge and teach others how to garden and grow food, so you've come to the right place if you want to improve your gardening skills. All right, so let's start with strategy number 1, and that's laying down cardboard and then adding mulch on top of it. This is a fantastic way to start a new growing space that is covered in grass. If you don't have time to wait for solarization to kill all the grass or weeds, and you don't want to till the soil and hand weed everything, start by laying down cardboard instead. I get a ton of free cardboard from my local grocery store, or save your Amazon delivery boxes. Just make sure you remove any tape that is on them, and then you can lay them down. You need at least 2 layers for this to work well. I find that the tougher weeds or things like crabgrass easily make their way through just 1 layer. So that's why I say add 2 or even 3 layers if you can. The cardboard will smother them out for a pretty long time. It lets water pass through, and it breaks down over time, attracting a ton of earthworms to the area. They seem to really love paper products. Water the cardboard down before adding mulch on top to lock the cardboard in place. Then throw a thick layer of mulch on top, like 5 inches. I get free wood chips from chipdrop.com, so that's what I'm using today. Just poke a hole straight through with a small hand shovel and plant. This method won't last forever, but it should get you through 1 or 2 seasons without having to weed. I also repeat this whole process right over my garden beds and growing spaces after I finish harvesting to continually smother out the weeds. You could just heavily mulch everything without adding a layer of cardboard, but that won't last as long as when using cardboard with it. I get a delivery of free wood chips about once every 1 to 2 years. I have a video all about that, which I will link below in the description. But I lay down a very thick layer of mulch that basically blocks all the weeds and their seeds sitting on the surface of the soil, just waiting to get some sunlight to germinate or grow. It has to be a thick layer to work. You're basically depriving the plants and seeds beneath it from germinating. Over time, new weed seeds and growth will start popping up on the surface of the mulch, which is basically the new soil surface, but it lasts for a good while. Not to mention, the mulch breaks down to help build soil-rich and organic matter. My second strategy for not having to manually weed the garden is the use of heavy-duty weed blocker material. This material works just like solarization. The plastic prevents access to sunlight, so the weeds die out. Not all weed blocking material is the same though. A lot of them will say it will last for 10 years or 20 years. What that really means is that the plastic material itself won't break down. Not that you will be weed free for 10 or 20 years. Weeds can still get through this, usually when there is a hole in the material, but it by far suppresses and kills the majority of them. I like to use this in my walkways to prevent weeds from growing there and then reseeding into neighboring garden beds. I use it when I shut down sections of my garden during the summer. Sometimes I put it over my garden beds and plant right into it by burning holes into the material with a small hand torch. I can even direct sow seeds into the holes. I especially love to plant squash and melon crops into the holes so the vines can sprawl out over the surface of the plastic instead of coming into direct contact with the soil, where a lot of pests and pathogens live that will jump up onto your plants. So it does help reduce the incidence of diseases and pests just a little bit. I realize this is using a lot of plastic, but I do reuse it. Even the ones that I burn holes in them, because those holes are lined up to match square foot gardening guidelines, and I can just keep planting stuff in it. It is not hard to remove this stuff. It's being held in place by some extra long landscape hooks. I just pull them out and roll up the plastic. I have tried so many different brands of weed blocker material, and the only one that has held up is the DeWitt brand weed blocking material specifically. I will link this in the description below so you can find it too. And just some frequently asked questions when I mention that I use weed blocker material, because I know you're going to ask. Number 1, can water get through? Yes, water can flow through this weed blocker material because it is a woven fabric-like product. 2, will it kill earthworms? So far in my experience using this, it appears the worms move out of the area when they sense the soil is heating up. I still have lots of earthworms in my soil. When I remove the black weed blocker material, they just come right back. Number 3, will the weed blocker material heat up plant roots? Yes, this can happen, and it can be bad for your plants. For example, I was growing tomatoes in the holes I burned through the plastic. When it was hot, the leaves started curling up due to their roots overheating. So going forward, I do not plant tomatoes into the holes anymore. I only have had this issue with tomatoes though. I didn't notice it with any of my other crops or things like squash and melons. So it appears tomato tomato roots are just extra sensitive to soil temperatures. Number 4, does this get rid of crabgrass or Bermuda grass? It helps, but crabgrass is tough. I've seen it grow long vines over the top of the weed blocker material, so remove that if you see it. But usually the vines or roots of the crabgrass under the material get killed over time. The third strategy to combat weeds involves alternating between growing in a garden bed area and grow bags. Let me explain what I mean. After my summer crops were done, this entire area turned into a mini jungle of leftover plants and weeds. Instead of clearing everything by hand, I just rolled out a layer of weed blocker fabric right over the top. Seriously, I just smoothed it over the mess, no weed pulling required. If you have really tall weeds, chop them down just a little bit first. It's easier to lay the fabric flat this way. Overlap the edges of the weed blocker so no weeds poke through. I like using extra long landscaping staples to keep it in place, but you can use bricks or stones, whatever you have on hand. This weed blocker is going to stay here for a few months. It basically cuts off the sunlight and all those unwanted weeds and plants underneath will slowly die back. While this is shut down, I just put some rows of grow bags right over the top so I can keep growing. Later on, I will remove the grow bags once they are finished producing and go back to planting in the ground in this area. This can also be seen as a way to do crop rotation in smaller gardens where shutting down even a small bit of growing space really hinders how much you can produce. After a few months, when the plants in all of my grow bags are done producing, I'll just remove all of these bags and then peel up the weed blocker material from this entire growing space. Underneath, most if not all of the weeds have died back. I'll then prep this growing area for whatever I want to plant next. That is also a fantastic time to mix in some compost or other amendments into the ground soil before you start planting again. Over time, weeds will basically spread their seeds all over the place, and the ones that are sitting on the surface level tend to germinate. So by constantly covering up the soil with the weed blocker material, I'm kind of killing a lot of those weed seeds, which is how you reduce the seed bank of all the weed seeds that are around in your garden. Lastly, my fourth strategy is to use plants to fill garden spaces and block out the weeds. This is called a living mulch. This works particularly well in food forests, areas of larger space that you have a hard time controlling, or under taller plants like fruit trees. The best plants to use for this are going to vary depending on where you're located, but you want to find things that are low growing, have a sprawling type of growth habit, and is perennial in your zone. Because if it is an annual and keeps dying, that means there are bare spots for weeds to fill in. If you can find a living mulch plant that is also edible, that's like a double win-win situation. In my garden, I use longevity spinach and Okinawan spinach as living mulches. They both sprawl out and are low growing. They grow into lush, thick mats, so to speak, and the entire plant is edible. If I decide to clear out the space, as in remove these plants, because maybe I want to plant something else in that spot, they are easy to just pull out. You just yank out the vines. There are also lots of herbs and flowers that would work for this too. Just focus on the perennial ones, like oregano, for example. I have this Italian oregano growing in a raised garden bed, but I just want to show you its low growing nature and how massive it is. This is just one plant and it's covered a large area blocking out the weeds. Another option is sweet potatoes, if you don't mind them going crazy and rooting in random spots. I can't do that in my small garden because they will just take over, but I definitely do it over at my aunt's garden because she has a couple acres of land. Sometimes I get comments like, I see weeds in your garden. That's unacceptable. My garden never has weeds. Yeah, for real. I get comments like that. The reality is the majority of gardeners struggle with keeping up with the weeds. It's a huge problem that makes a lot of us just give up. So that's why I wanted to share some alternative methods that make it easier. Plus, I just don't think a lot of gardeners understand. Some of you are blessed to be gardening in areas with normal weeds and grass. With all the summer heat and rain I get in Florida, my garden turns into a jungle in just like 2 weeks if I don't implement these weed killing strategies. So please give me a big thumbs up if you found this video helpful and share it with other gardeners who are really struggling with controlling weeds. If you have any weed control ideas that are not chemical based, please comment below and share. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my gardening tutorials. And here's that video about how I get lots of wood chips and use it around in my garden in case you wanted to watch it. Happy gardening, and I'll see you in the next video.